Hello! Welcome to this episode of the FANMEN podcast. I'm DJ Gove.
Chris Davis.
Sean Hogarty.
How's everyone doing?
Fabulous.
Well, sir.
Good stuff. So, we're actually not going to talk about movies or TV or any of that stuff or comic book characters this week. We're going to dive into the not so finer points of collecting.
The dirty underbelly.
The dirty underbelly. Yes. The dark web of collecting, I guess you could say. So I'm going to kick it over to Sean. Let Sean start this one off because.
So I believe we've talked about it here and there over the last several months, but I've been thinking for a while about trying to sell some parts of my comic collection in particular, primarily because the closet with the shelves that I keep my comics on is over capacity. So I have probably 2,000 or 3,000 comics that are boxed and spread around my office when they really should all be put away on the shelves. And so I've been thinking about, I know there's large segments of my collection that I don't want to keep anymore or aren't core to what I have as goals. And it's just been kind of hard to figure out how to approach that. Well, over the last few months, things have taken a turn for us where I actually need money, not just space. And that's kind of brought up some interesting things about the fun and pathology and sickness and addiction of collecting.
Very good way of putting it.
That I thought would be interesting to put together now that I'm actually stuck trying to pull some cash out of the vast collection that I've acquired. I thought it'd be interesting to talk about. Before getting into that, I did want to give somebody a shout out. One of our Canadian Tell 'em Steve Dave fellow fans, for Color Demon for Life, Stephen, I think it's Gree because he's Canadian, but it could be Grease or Gris or Grice. So I apologize, Stephen. But it's a fantastic, warm, funny dude, very talented. He's done some cool Smodcast stickers and some other
Super
things.
Talented kid.
Yeah. Recently, DJ and I, mostly without Chris's participation, have been kind of developing our own legend of Chris Davis. We talk about always wanting to be Chris Davis, right? Chris Davis has all the money. Chris Davis travels to all the places and does all the things.
I wish this legend was true.
Don't confuse us.
I'm not going to ruin
with
it
your
for you.
facts.
No,
We're talking about truth, Chris. And with the recent new wave of Kevin Smith jerseys hitting eBay to raise additional funds for the Great Wayne Foundation, there's been a new round of fun ribbing of Chris's auction prowess, because of course almost all the jersey first bids were from a certain Chris Davis.
I don't know if there's so much prowess as more of a smash and grab mission.
Yeah. It's a shotgun approach, but I forget. So sometime recently, DJ and I were kind of tweeting about. In fact, I don't even think we started it. I think it was somebody else either on Facebook or Twitter.
I think it was Brian Stoner.
Yeah,
he made a comment.
That's right. It might have been Stoner.
I think it was like saying I exactly
He
put
said
it. But
something to the effect of that you have to run out of money eventually.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was something. You have to run out of money eventually, and
you have no idea, Brian. No clue.
So there are some funny tweets. So if you look on Twitter and find some of our tweets, you may see this. But I wanted to pay a special shout out and provide a reading of a poem that Stephen, on the fly in seconds, put out that I thought was great and kind of put a cap on the thread. He said, "Cry out, all you people, the man, the wife, the kid, who long for memorabilia, but have swiftly been outbid. Alas, they click too slowly, despite their chomping at the bit. For in swoops the Chris Davis, and your paltry sums ain't shit." So
shout out to Stephen.
Yeah,
thank you for taking the time, sir.
Yeah, we really
that was
appreciate
amazing.
that.
Chris is good on eBay.
You gotta.
He's so
you
good.
Definitely put a smile on my face.
He's so good. He buys shit he didn't even want to buy. That's how good he is.
It's actually motivated me to not I don't even try to bid on things because in my head, you win everything. I know that's not true, but it doesn't matter. It helps me.
No, to be fair, anytime Jamie puts out something, I do try to support the Wayne Foundation as much as I can.
Jamie Walton, the primary force behind the Wayne Foundation.
And the first thing, when these things come up, in general, I'll go throw a bid on each one.
Absolutely.
Just to start driving up and just start get those numbers moving.
I put some bids in.
This time I am getting my ass kicked. But that's good. That means there's a ton more money going into the charity.
Absolutely.
So if I could have been a small part of that to help drive it up, I'm happy to have done it.
Though I do like the thought of you and DJ bidding against each other.
I'm out on this round.
It's already too much.
Yeah, I
only ever bought one jersey he wanted, but it was only after he said he was done.
That's right.
And it wasn't.
To be fair, I said I was staying out of the way until he tapped.
And when it was the Mysterio one,
and
I knew I was getting.
That isn't the one I was thinking of.
I knew what was coming, so I'll go in when I know there's some up there that Chris already has.
Yeah,
he knew I had that Mysterio one shortlisted.
Yeah, no, I know he did. I say with the Kevin Warren jerseys, I have other colors. I don't have one of the. I'll say I have a Golden Age and a Silver Age Kev. I don't have a new 52 Kev, which is like the black and red ones. I hope to get one of those, but we'll have to see how it goes. It's going to be a long process, but...
It's a good kickoff for the collection
I
conversation,
like
though, because this is something that's definitely taking the place of some of the other things.
Yeah.
This is bigger than like the books or anything. Like, at this point, the books are more going through the motion. The pull list is there. The number of issues that I'm actually reading has dwindled.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really only a couple titles, if that.
Yeah.
And some of that's a time issue.
Yeah.
But yes, this has kind of replaced some of the other collecting things where this is the focus. I'm just building a closet of jerseys at this point.
Because this is the end of it. They're not,
Right. Wait until he develops,
I think the last
custom blazers, custom cloth blazers, or,
I'm just waiting for the
neckerchiefs or
the props
ascots.
from the new movie.
Yeah, the props from reboot.
Yep.
Just throw a piece of that glass from Brody's shop.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be hanging in my office.
Yeah. So Jay and Silent Bob reboot is filming starting tomorrow.
We're mere hours away.
Yep. The first picture came out of the Brody secret stash. Yep. I'm hoping, like, I found it weird that they're not doing those scenes in the actual secret stash. So is it like, is it a second store? Did he like?
No, it's real. It's simple, right? You've put all your locations as close to as close together as possible. They're filming in New Orleans and LA, and
they're doing a couple exteriors at the Quick Stop, I believe.
Yeah, that would make sense. You're right. So they could pull a few there, but it's easier to just.
But a lot of this is a cost thing too.
Yeah.
It's when you take the money, when you take the tax breaks from Louisiana, and you're finding this with the extras and everything, there are requirements that, and it came up in the conversation with Ralph last week. Oh, yeah. He has to jump through hoops to be able to do a cameo in Louisiana.
Yeah.
They may actually film his in Los Angeles.
Really?
Because they want, hey, we're going to let you make the movie for free. You don't get to bring everybody else in and not give anything back to the community.
Interesting.
They want, if you go, you'll probably see a bunch of kids from like Tulane and LSU, and those will be the people that are acting as extras.
Yeah, I'm curious how they're going to do that. Like, what's that scene going to entail? Is it like I said? Did the first stash like fold? Is it a second one? I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
When you and Chris both somehow end up going to filming in one or more locations and being in the film, leaving me behind, we'll discuss that.
Not me.
For now, let's talk about collecting. Right?
Yeah.
I know you, DJ. You've got pops, comics, wrestling, weapons, action figures, statues. Chris has all those, plus sports memorabilia, and
I'm one of those. Yeah, it's definitely a new and shiny.
Yeah.
Ooh,
you get some nice original art and prints and things like that. You get a lot of prints too, DJ.
Yeah.
For me, it's been primarily comics for the last 10 years. I do have a lot of kind of Batman stuff and a few other things on the shelves. But each of us, I think, has a common drive to collect. And there's a lot of, I think we talked about this when we originally started the podcast. There's a lot of reasons for it, right? I'm a bit of a completionist. So once I start collecting something, that has a series to it, like a comic or a movie or whatever, but it's really comics. I don't like having an issue, a 1 and a 2 and a 4. I want issue 3.
Yeah.
With all the variants or multiple printings. I don't want just the A cover. I want the B cover. And I want the second print, the third. And this is stupid, right? There's no claim that it's not some kind of sickness or eccentricity that drives us to do that. It's a compulsion. Yeah. But it gets weirder when I realize, as I'm trying to decide what really defines my collection and what I want to get rid of, it's fighting those compulsions, getting over the feeling like, well, if I get rid of this, then it devalues this that I'm keeping, or what have you. It's an interesting thing. So some discussion in the press in the last couple of days, or in general fan discussions about DC talking about potentially pulling back on the number of comics they're putting out. There's certainly been a lot of industry discussion about more and more comic book shops closing, too many variants, too many number ones. A lot of it focuses on Marvel, who is, printing ridiculous numbers of things.
Which no one is buying.
Right.
And for no reason. They're printing it for no reason.
Well, somebody's buying it. The comic shops are.
Yeah, the comic shops
are. Which is why they're going under.
Yeah. So all that fits into the context of...
As we're talking here, Steven himself sent us a voice message.
Let's
Do we
see.
play it live on air?
Yeah. He's actually... I'll try to play it live on air.
Gris.
Oh, it's Gris. I don't know if... Could you hear that?
Guessed correctly. Okay.
Well, you did.
Gris.
Okay, Gris.
So it's Stephen Gris.
Just know, Stephen, that's because I love you most.
I apologize for butchering it. And again, thank you for the poem. It
was tremendous, sir. And thank you for reaching out while recording.
Yeah. So I'm actually. So I just wrote him back and told him I played his message. So hopefully it comes across. But yeah. So with all this stuff going on, there's lots of voices of doom of the industry is going to implode. We're back in the 90s. There's too many variants. There's too many number ones and crossovers. That's not new.
It's the ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
The advent of the movies back with that first Iron Man kind of brought in another golden age and built up the convention scene and all of that. We've talked about this offline for well over a year. You're at the saturation point.
Well, which is interesting
this bubble
because
has to break.
Particularly, you aren't buying as many comics, DJ, but Chris and I mean, when shortly after Chris and I met, back in, I think it was like 2013 or something.
Yeah, somewhere there.
He introduced me to what I consider to be my local comic shop, the Hall of Comics. We talk about them often. Yep. And I think in the early days, I like to flatter myself into thinking that, Chris and I were a couple of the bigger, pull list guys. I don't want to talk about the numbers on a weekly or monthly basis, but a lot. And I was, any Image number one and every DC number one. And I think for a while I was getting every cover price variant that DC was doing, which was often, on the order of 30 to 50 a month issues, right? I mean, just a lot
every
of
variant
things.
run.
Yeah.
Yes, clearly I want one of everything. And
yeah, and that was I reading those? No. And in fact, I got behind years ago. So almost every issue that I'm buying, it's either for the cover art or for like Batman and Detective, it's to continue a run that reaches back 50 plus years.
Checking a box.
Yeah, it's checking a box. And so right now going through this reevaluation process of I can read digitally almost anything I want. That doesn't take storage, takes less money, certainly is less headache, less gas and time to get it. So really, why am I buying and fighting my own compulsions? And that's tough and interesting. I know you've been going through, DJ, your pride at we're almost in our third month of the year, haven't purchased a Funko Pop, which is traditionally part of your $8 million a month of expenditure.
Yeah.
You know?
And people talk about the Chris Davis.
Yeah, well,
I just
he DJ's been pumping this legend up a lot to cover for himself.
no.
I have a very understanding wife, so she gets it.
Yeah, not so much as some people have heard.
Plus, if we had the legend of DJ, he might be dead.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Chris has better stuff than me. It's just, it is what it is. I have a lot of stuff, but I can,
See, my view is by you creating this podcast and we have this little kind of family unit, we now own what Chris owns. Right. So I feel
You
like
can come visit the museum whenever you
right. I mean, I
go pet the pinball machine.
that's
Like, I like a pinball machine.
That's half the compulsion, though, right?
So this brings me to an interesting point with this. It is a compulsion.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is. And
yes.
what, at least for me personally, what ends up happening is I get bored very quickly
Mm-hmm.
with collecting one thing. Like the collecting of the comics became very mechanical
Yeah.
a while back. And I notice it myself in the length of time it takes me to go clean out my box. It's
Right.
what used to be 1 or 2 times a week
Mm-hmm.
is now every 2 weeks.
Yep.
Or if I'm traveling, I'll get there on Monday.
Yeah.
It's not that, hey, I got to swing in. And I still
You don't
enjoy the interaction. I still like going and hanging out with the
yeah.
guys.
but you don't get excited for new comic book day anymore. It's like, I can't wait to read
doesn't
this.
move the
I
needle.
can't-
Well, is it shifts from that, right? There's the part of the compulsion that's like the rat hitting the bar for a pellet,
Mhm.
right? Where you do get pleasure of looking through the stack and seeing. I mean, the cover art's awesome. The various story arcs, things
But I
are
mean,
cool.
you're much the same person. How many
Yeah.
times do you go, that stack hits a count and you're doing, okay, yeah. I mean, those
Oh,
are
yeah,
the ones that are
yeah.
on the list. And
Yeah. And so it starts to get replaced or balanced by shame in, I'm not going to read these. This is just adding to the time I have to spend to file and bag and board and put away. And I need that time and that money. It's starting to shift for me, which is a good and healthy thing. But it's also interesting to, I mean, I'm fortunate to have money coming through that I can make stupid decisions with, but the necessity of making smarter decisions is
it's going to force you into focus.
it's starting to come up. And
But even that's starting, like, so I wouldn't say any of us at this table are, we're not loaded by any stretch of the imagination. We all have
Chris Davis is, but Chris Davis at this table is not.
yeah, exactly.
The all capitals.
The all
Chris.
capitals
Yeah.
Chris Davis, yeah.
But we all have, a good steady job where we make, decent livable wage, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the problem is that on top of just all the other things, it's because, I'm trying to think, because collecting and nerd stuff and comic books and Star Wars and all that stuff, it's all so much more socially acceptable now
Oh, yeah.
and people using revenue streams. So you're looking at $5 a piece comic books.
Mm-hmm.
And Star Wars figures aren't $6.99 anymore. They're $11.99 or $12.99 or $22 for the Black Series. Funko Pops aren't $10. They're $12 or $15 for exclusives now.
Yeah.
No, excellent point.
The money is drying up because
Yeah.
the other things, like they're charging so much for this shit now. It's like you can't.
Well, and I think you hit the operative word. Like 90% of it is shit. It's stuff you collect
Yeah.
because it's something that means something to you. But Sean's running into it right now. And this is kind of like, you kind of alluded to some of the stuff I have. My focus tends to shift to, I'd rather have 2 big things than 50 small things that then I got to figure out where the fuck to put them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's after the momentary, oh my God, this is cool. Awesome. It went on a shelf and I don't even look at the fucking thing
Right.
anymore.
Yeah. I'm just now, I think, and maybe just because, like, okay, I understand I'm the youngest one at this table. Like, we were just talking about, serious, the
He
hunt.
says it like
Throw that in
yeah,
all the time.
Yeah.
Well, no, because
We've made it this far, okay, fucker?
because when I finish the sentence, you guys will give me shit for it. But I am
you don't have to. You're already getting shit. Now
It's
you
just
can.
going to
I,
get worse.
the camping outside of stores
Oh,
for
yeah.
pops and the tracking down variants and chases, and I have hit the spot where I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore.
Concept. The idea of
that's
waiting in
getting old.
line,
Yeah.
Right.
And another thing too is like with Toys R Us.
our problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll spend $5 extra to buy it online or $10 extra
Yeah.
later
Yep.
than to get up and wait in line.
And with Toys R Us gone now,
Yeah.
it takes. So now you're dealing with other stores. So Toys R Us was a toy store, and the one we had near us wasn't too bad as far as like the employees hoarding stuff because the guy who ran it was kind of against it.
Yep.
So now I'm relegated to places like Target and Walmart, who don't give a shit about toy collectors. They just whip the stuff around. So everything's beat to piss. You can't get anything in mint condition anymore.
Inventory.
It's just inventory. So that on top of, you have some expense stuff going on.
Yeah.
Chris has the new house going up right now.
Yeah.
I got the kid going to college in the fall. So it's like when you take all the variables, it's like I'm not saying it's like over. I'm never buying anything ever again, but
No, it will swing.
it is, yeah. And like I'm kind of like getting
The focus will just go.
It will.
You may get away from it for a little while. I was away from comics for decades.
yeah.
I mean, I'd sold the entire collection.
Yeah,
Just
like-
purged it all.
Yeah, like I can say safely 3 3/4 in Star Wars figures for me is dead. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm never buying another one again. They're not made well anymore. The sculpts suck. Everything.
Yeah.
Black Series, I might pick up 1 or 2 here or there if it's like a character I don't have.
See, now that's a perfect example. Remember when they came out with when they first re-released those larger?
Yeah.
I got all Chris. Oh my God, I got the Vader set. Went around, got that first thing. Yeah. It's sitting in a friggin' tub. I didn't even look at them.
And they've put them back out 5 or 6 more times. So their value. The thing was like one thing one of my bigger problems was I'm a worrywart. I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah. I have look. They have Grand Admiral Thrawn on the peg.
Him really?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna buy one because I need one. But shit, what if I accidentally drop it on the floor and bend the corner? I'll never find another one in the store. I'm gonna buy all 3 of them just in case something happens to the other 2. That's kind of going away now. Well, the doubles and the triples.
That's definitely good. But some of the stuff you said and some of the stuff Chris said reminded me another thing I wanted to touch on. So completionist and collection, collecting and for a completionist hoarding type of thing is one thing. But let's talk about speculation or the aspects of when you talk quality. That's not just, I want to have the perfect quality on my shelf. There's a driver in the last several decades of culture since Beanie Babies and other things where, if I keep it pristine, mint on card, new in box, sealed, you're preserving, and ensuring future value. And I tried to, as I sped up in the last, since about 2011, spending more and more time and money on comics, I tried to very carefully not view it as investment, right? I wanted to keep it and preserve it in quality because I like well-preserved old things.
Now, see, you're different from most collectors in that aspect. So there's a weird dichotomy of the collector, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, they want to buy the thing and keep it in that mint condition because it has some monetary value.
Right.
When if they were being honest with themselves, they're never going to sell it to maximize that monetary value.
Right.
It's going to be worthless by the time they determine to get rid of it.
Yes.
That's statistically true, but it also gets to one of the weird things of the boom and bust is collecting. The boom and the small number of things that get huge to drive interest in the thing, articles in the finance world about the investing value of comics and, things like this. By the time you hear about this stuff and you start pumping money in, the value's already been priced out or, I've been getting generally every cover of every Image Comics #1 for the past several years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a few of those have resulted in me having one that has, gone up in value. Yeah. But it went up in value and I didn't turn around and sell it. And many of those then come back down to being worth less than what I paid for it. So the fact that I hit in my shotgun approach, something that could have been the next Walking Dead #1 doesn't matter.
Yeah. You hit on paper.
I hit on paper. And
trying to explain the stock market to your parents.
Right.
Look at how much it went up.
Yeah. I've been getting all the Middleton covers and now the Artgerm covers of Batgirl and Supergirl and all these. And yes, a few of those are worth well over cover. Yeah. Some of the Batgirl Middleton ones are
they're all gorgeous.
Oh, they're yeah.
And you're buying them for the art?
Yeah, I love them for the art. But part of why I started getting them wasn't for the art. It was also for the, oh shit, that's valuable. I can turn around and tell that for, I bought it for $4 and I can sell it for $50. But if I don't, I'm not, the fact is, if I like the art, nothing prevents me from downloading and printing or papering my house with high-res versions of all. I can see it in the
digital.
Right. So is it worth holding it? And it's in a bag and a board and sitting in the back of my closet. So that's part of what I'm struggling with now is why am I, if 90% of what's in my pull box every week at the hall is stuff that if I read it, I probably won't be reading it for 5 or 10 years, and I'll probably read it digitally. Or B, well, it fits some scheme that I've got for collecting. Just it's really. Oh, and part of it is honestly, I'm providing commerce to a small business run by guys I like, respect. I feel like there's a relationship there that's, of course, it's economic, and I understand that. But, I mean, in a world of Amazon and digital, I believe
there's a relationship.
Yeah, yeah. But now that I actually need money for my family, I do have to really look at those things.
It's tough because, like I say, everything. I think a lot of stuff. You talk about the price gouging and the people. Like, tell you one thing that I hate the most is when I'm at the store and I see that fucking asshole like over in the pop section just scanning all the barcodes with his Amazon app to figure which ones he can try to flip. I just want to punch. I want to punch those people in the face. I hate
the
that
guy
shit.
who flipped $800 worth of pops a couple weeks ago.
Traded.
Ah.
Oh no! I did sell
cash,
but I sold
And he only came back with 2.
Yes,
but he didn't pay for those.
They were all doubles and triples, and everything I sold for under pop price guide. It's like back then. Yes, so I'm not like the people that go into like Target when something new comes out and buy all 10 of them, then put them on eBay in the parking lot. I fucking hate those people.
Yeah,
it was like, and I had no choice. The wife made me get rid of some, like the big 10 inches and stuff like that. They were taking up way too much room.
Your wife made
your wife doesn't like the big 10 inches.
No, she doesn't. Oh. Nope. She's nope. She's happy with the good old fashioned 3.5-inch ones.
There you go.
I thought it was 3 and 3/4.
There's
only you know the exact length.
I got this really good tea at home.
That's the scale of the figures, Chris Davis.
Sure. I saw those bedroom eyes you were giving them. Fucked up.
But it is. It's just we talk. I mean, so you guys were a little older back in the 90s.
Oh, Jesus, again?
I'm saying, but you guys probably experienced the. No, I'm getting to the point. When everything collapsed comic wise in the 90s, you guys probably had a little bit of a different experience than I did.
I was not.
You were out of it.
I was out of it by then.
Oh shit! Okay, so I was in it hard. I was doing Image books and X-Men books, and it was insane.
No, I'd bounced before like the Jim Lee X-Men or anything like that.
But you had in like the Worcester, like my area, the only thing that survived was Dash Entertainment. Everything else was just one night they were all gone.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand why. I was like 12 or whatever. I didn't know. I was like,
because they bought inventory that they could not sell.
We're old enough to remember when Newbury Comics was actually a comic store.
Yeah,
well, that was so.
You would go into the Natick shop and it was just long box after long box.
I went to college in '89, so '89 through '94 in Cambridge. There was a Newbury Comics in the student center, and while I didn't buy any comics, I bought CDs there, and I think that's where I first bought a Watchmen trade paperback,
probably,
and I might have bought some Sandman trades, and I think maybe Killing Joke, and but trades. So but that whole pop culture thing, but they survived because they had such a swing towards pop culture and music at that point.
I don't know how the fuck they're still around.
Honestly,
the store is useless now.
The store?
Yeah.
It's people that are collecting pops. They're shifting to new
vinyl. They sell vinyl, which has good
they
margin.
sell into the fads.
Yeah. But all of this stuff is headed to a boil again. I mean, the pop thing, you go into some stores now and there's shelf warmers everywhere because they're making too much inventory. This Funko stuff is like, and they're making shit that no one cares about.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is it's kind of run its course.
It has.
The main characters of
everything.
You've already done it how many different times? And the thing that's going to kill Funko, and I think we were talking about this via Slack or text message, it's the IP.
Yeah.
So they have to sell these things for $12.99 or $10.99, whatever the price may be.
They're paying a couple bucks.
They're paying at least a couple bucks. So now you're down to the dregs of things like Sanford and Son. And those, you have all these the Jeffersons, which it's ancient
the licenses
IP.
Are cheap.
The licenses are cheap, so they can try to flip it. And if they suck you into, I'm doing TV ones, so I need these, they can squeeze a little more juice out of that lemon.
Yeah, just like the Toy Fair slate they had announced. I was like, what? Like this is the year they have coming. Like I don't get like okay,
Yeah.
I'm out. I got nothing to buy.
Yeah.
And then even like some of the like the chases. There's only a couple of them, which is good, but there's nothing good in the chases. There's nothing different. There's no Mr.
Chases
Bean's.
aren't they're not going to be special if people aren't chasing. Kind of like the variants.
Yeah.
Exactly. Even so, like like because I keep track of stuff, and a lot of these like Hot Topic exclusives, FY exclusives, they're used to be like say a year ago, Hot Topic exclusive, Beetlejuice comes out, whatever.
Yep.
Okay, cool. This hits the store once, you get one shot at it. It goes online once, you get one shot at it.
Right.
Now, like they just did the Dawnbreaker Batman from Batman Metal, and it's up. Oh, it's up again and again and again. Right. They're just producing so many of these fucking things now. It's just like
it's simple
it's
economics. They need to move X number of units to justify that IP cost.
You go into Target now, and Target, I think, bought the rights to the Mego brand.
Oh, really?
So I think Target actually owns the Mego brand now, and
we saw the dude that owns Mego.
Yeah, we just got used to own it.
No, he's the one that owns the new Mego.
Oh, okay.
The one that we saw out at the stand of it.
Oh,
now I don't know if Target, they may have invested.
So maybe because Target's
they
only
have an
carries them.
exclusive or something. Yeah.
They have the whole line's an exclusive for them. I have not seen a single one move out of my Target store. They're all still there. No one cares.
I bought the large Harley Quinn just for part of the larger Harley collection.
Yeah. I bought Fonzie
for the kid.
I bought Fonzie at a different Target. There.
If Fonzie had been out in time for if he had been out in time for Terrificon,
they got him the Monday after Terrificon.
Yeah, I would have bought that.
But I bought it because he comes around a lot. But that's the thing too. Is like the way I'm looking at things now is I'm buying either stuff for that my daughter might want later on. Like she likes Harley's your favorite character, so I buy as much like cool Harley covers as I can. Even when she just gets her own place and she makes like a big wall with the books and puts them in a frame, I don't give a shit, whatever. But I buy stuff now that I can, I can probably get that signed to be good for that part of the collection. But then again, like Chris said, the whole con thing. Usually every year I'm like, okay, I gotta hit like all 6 area cons. This year I'm not planning on going to any of them. I might dip in Terrificon for one day, just to see what's up. But
I mean, I'd like to go, but I just don't. Now with the money pressure on top of the somewhat numbness to it.
Yeah. George would be the one thing to get me down there.
Sure.
But my head's at the point where I've already seen him.
Yeah. He's still going that day. Don't want him. He's going.
No, and you touched upon something, and I'm guilty of it too. So we buy stuff for the kids.
They don't care.
No, that's
incorrect.
No. That's a dirty little secret. It's cool and everything because Dad paid for it. Dad's storing it.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day, it's no different than when you have an elderly relative or something.
Yeah.
You weren't moving your father.
Oh, yeah.
When my aunt passed away, you're cleaning at a house. These were her treasures.
Yeah.
And you feel bad getting rid of her treasures, but nobody wants her shit.
Yeah.
That's at the end of the day, it was somebody else's thing. And you ascribe value to this because you were the one that went and hunted and put this all together. Yeah. There's never going to be that same connection for.
And the other thing too is it might not be everybody, but I've talked to a couple other people outside the three of us who do some stuff that kind of feel the same way. I used to get like that like runner's high, like getting to this, like walking to toys, I'm like, oh fuck, there it is, boom, mine. I don't have that anymore when I find stuff. I just don't.
No.
Well, it'll come, but you bring me back to my literally today, this weekend current situation where I am. Literally assessing my thousands of comic books for how can and should I approach extracting cash now, right? I'd like to try to be selling, at least a few hundred to maybe $1,000 a month over the coming 6 months, maybe more. Now the value is nominally there, but literally, right, to maximize value, you pretty much have to, put singles or small things onto eBay in the right format, either price them appropriately, put it on buy it now, combine shipping, and leave them out there for a while, or there's so many different approaches. They all involve time, customer service, shipping, bullshit, or you can try to, take a list or boxes to local comic stores, take, pennies on the dollar.
Oh, clearly.
Just to move them.
And that's no shot at the comic store. I mean, they have rent. They need to get their margin on that.
Oh yeah,
so
and
you're not getting anywhere close to retail.
That's the good and bad of it is, You know, I understand the finance. You know, there's no hard feelings in it. It's economics, but that's the pain.
It is. In a microcosm, we talked about another shop occasionally here, Friendly Neighborhood Comics.
Yeah.
If you guys follow the Facebook page,
Yep.
somebody posted last weekend. They posted for one of their customers that they're trying to get rid of an Incredible Hulk 180, 181, and 182. $1,500 for the three.
Yeah.
Which, depending on the condition
That
of the
could be pretty
181,
it
could be worth way more than the 1,500. It looked like it was pretty good. But that's what, if they want to dump it and turn that into cash short term, they're going to take that kind of a hit.
Yeah. Well, I do have, you know, I've got a few books that are slabbed, meaning, you know, graded, certified, you know, so the quality is known, that I can turn around for pretty good money pretty quickly, which is, you know, definitely where I'll be going first. But the rest of them, it's going to be a pain in the butt to figure out how to pull money out of it.
It's
and leaving that to my kids. Think about that nightmare. It's just not even worth it.
No, honestly, if you're being truthful, it wouldn't be fair to them. Now they got to get rid of
absolutely
15,000 books or 10,000 books or whatever the number is.
At which point, you know, my grails of my Batman and my detective run, right? Where's the line on that, Chris?
I mean, you guys have heard me make the joke that this is all going to end up being Harley's, and she's going to get rid of it all for like 1 month's rent sometime.
Yeah,
because it's going to have no value to her. It's stuff, and it'll become at a certain point. When I'm gone, it'd become a pain in the ass for her to be carting this around or trying to sort through all the, like, what the fuck did Dad buy all this shit for?
Yeah.
This is like a very special episode of FANMEN where we're discussing real topics and depressing the shit out of each other.
No, it's not. I think it comes back to the truth of the matter that the stuff is just stuff.
Yeah.
It's the high you get, the thing you're enjoying is the collecting.
Yeah.
So like DJ touched upon it. There's no more joy going for the chase.
No.
So
it's not as much the little plastic men. It was finding that little plastic man.
All right. So then it sounds like the three of us are each approaching this, you know, valley of joylessness in things that have been driving us a lot lately.
Shit, I'm getting a therapist tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, for different reasons.
Well, sure.
We're all like
but so do we do you think that things turn and we're going to find something else to drive us?
Oh, I think so.
Or are we, you know, is this midlife, you know?
No, the collecting has always been something. I mean, turn around. There's 2 golf ball cases on my rack. So for a while when I wasn't
I'm not going to look at your balls, Chris.
You can just don't touch them. But for a while.
They're small and dimpled.
Oh, they're glorious. Look at them shining.
It is cold
Sweet out. Jesus, I wanted to lick them.
Holy jeez, I wanted to lick them.
So, but no, even when I had gotten away from the comics, I started golfing a lot. This is before you had a house, so I had time. Yeah. So it became collecting a ball from every course that I played.
Yeah, which is cool.
But again, it's still the compulsion of I need one of every. It's whatever that chase is, not so much the stuff. Like I look at that, I'm like, shit, I don't remember half of them unless the name's listed on it.
Right.
But during that time period where I was playing a ton,
it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
I made a run. You see, there's one flag there. And it's little chases that I create in my head. At one point, I wanted one of the flags from every major Tiger Woods one. Yep. And then I hit the one that was financially unattainable, and I went off to something else.
Yeah.
And there was one PGA, I couldn't get it, so now there's flags sitting in a tub somewhere. You know?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same realm. Like, I still want to have stuff. Like, I still want to acquire more stuff. That's what it's. I mean, ever since I've been old enough to start making my own money. When I was 14, I got my first job. That's what I've done.
The trick is make that stuff money instead of stuff that you think might be worth money.
I tried collecting coins. It's not as fun.
No.
I mean,
numbers.
Actual money.
Yeah, collect actual.
Getting your head around that piece.
Yeah.
There is joy there.
Oh, yeah. No,
and
I
soulless.
That's one thing. Like,
no,
I do not know how to adult with the money at all. Like, fucking horrible with it.
Even something like the house we're building.
Yeah.
I know if I went and bought that house or tried to buy something similar in this market, it cost me $400,000 more.
Oh, yeah.
So I can put a little time and effort and get exactly what I want out of it. And I'm already building that equity. So yes, that is, I'll leave here where I have 2 and I automatically have 4 over there.
Yeah. And I'm hoping to do something like that, you know, not right now, but like the next house. But I want to,
But no, it's like finding that financial, building towards that.
I think I just bought 4 Ninja Turtles, but those were a special thing because that's something where I just buy them because they were there. That's something I've been waiting for like 25 years to show up in my on my doorstep, and I have them now.
Now see, this is something, if Heather was down here, That's part of the disease.
It is.
That's part of it.
I'm a
'Cause
sick man, Chris.
Not just you. That's part of all of it. We all suck. Like, we all fall into that trap and get sucked in by stuff like, oh my God, I've always wanted. When I was fucking 12.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I always wanted to play with this fucking Hall of Justice I bought.
I know.
Because I wanted it in 1985. Not because I'm going to play with the goddamn thing now.
I've been good about that.
That's
kind
a
of
perfect example.
It is. That is.
Why'd I drop $125 on a Hall of Justice?
I'm
That I haven't even brought upstairs from when we recorded 3 months ago.
I know.
He's pointing over
It's still in
to his
the bag.
right. We're in his
It's there.
It's in the bag where
I put
where
it
it went after you showed it to us.
Yeah.
We recorded an episode
like episode 7 or something
5
like
months
that.
ago or something.
I was very excited. I couldn't wait to come home and show you guys. I always
And then
wanted
you
this
did.
when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I showed you and it went back in the fucking bag and it's sitting on a shelf. And that's there it is. There's the poster child right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna try my best to pull back on the smalls. There's some stuff I do want to have
3 3/4.
Yeah, 3 3/4.
I mean, you can't help it.
You know, I mean, there is some stuff that I would eventually want to have. Like, I would, Chris has a Tom Brady football. I would like to have one of those for my stuff. I'd like to have. I don't need 90 of them like he does, but one Alex Ross
Yeah.
in a frame
I
would
was
be
going to say, I
nice.
only have one Tom Brady football.
It's a guy 13 jerseys. No, but some stuff like that. So
Yeah.
right now, like I said, I get the kid going to school. I got to worry about that, and then I want to I got to work on some house stuff. I'm going to need a roof next year. So all this stuff's
Why
gonna
we got to work on the money stuff.
Exactly. So that's why all my collectible stuff is kind of. I'm not going to go not get anything. It's not going to happen. I'm going to go to Disney this year. When I'm down there, I'll buy like a Disney statue or like a piece of artwork or something. It's going to. I'll buy one. I'm not going to buy 30 of them, but I'll buy one. So I just got to
That's good.
peel back.
Yeah. Well, it's
If you try to quit cold turkey, it just doesn't go well.
yeah. I kind of apologize for dragging us through this at the same time.
No, I
it
think it's a
felt
good
like
thing.
a good
No,
time
it did.
to bring back, this is what I'm soaking in right now.
I will argue against your cold turkey. It depends on why you're going cold turkey.
Yeah.
Because where all of these things that we're talking about, that undercurrent's already there.
Yeah.
Even as we continue to go through the motions to buy the stuff, all you needed, Sean, I'm looking at Sean right now, but all Sean needed was a reason to
That's true.
make him start.
Yeah.
I used to be on that train too, because we would, especially when Heather and I would go to Disney by ourselves.
Yep.
So it's like we'd come home with one big thing, be it a piece of art or something like that. And that it's part of vacation. And that's how you see, this is the sickness. You justify it as part of the vacation spending.
Yeah. Yeah. I do that too.
See, that makes me think of something. I don't have many regrets of things I didn't buy.
That was going to be my suggestion.
But I
for the
was
top
in...
three. Oh, regrets you didn't buy.
Yeah, something I didn't buy. So I was at Disney World when the movie studios had just opened. I can't remember what it was called then because they've changed it now. It's
MGM.
Now, it was MGM.
back in the day.
So I believe it was the first summer that MGM was open. I happened to be down there, and near the gate on the left-hand side as you came in, there was a little shop.
It used to be a little art store.
Yeah,
They do
a
have
little art
character
store.
meet and greets now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
He's
in
had a lot
that-
of
in that-
movie
yeah.
autographs and stuff.
So in that art
cool
store
stuff in there.
was a framed Last Crusade one sheet, right? So it's huge, right? Because it's one sheet and then it's matted and framed, signed by Spielberg, Harrison Ford, Sean Connery, at least those three, but I feel like it might have been also John Rhys Davies, maybe.
Was it signed by the Germans?
No, it wasn't signed by the Germans.
999.
9.
Shame.
But so at least those three signatures.
Wunderbar.
And it was framed and signed, and it was $400. And this is
Yeah.
probably 25 years ago.
Yeah.
20. It wasn't long after that movie had come out, but I'm like, oh, this is everything I love, right? I mean, and it still would be, and I don't know whether it'd be. I mean, presumably, if I wanted to find that today, it's probably more, but maybe
it's $400.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
can't get
you're-
one for $400 with just Harrison Ford on it,
Yeah.
or any one of those.
But it
people.
was,
Yeah.
the
Probably starting
was
to
that a
buy cheese.
Struzen poster?
Yep.
Yep.
Was.
It
Right.
was. Yep.
Yeah,
He did one.
and it was just
It's funny you mentioned the studios because there's one, and DJ, you probably know exactly the image I'm going to be talking about here. So there's a Star Wars store as soon as you come off the Star Tours ride, and they have autograph things hanging behind the counter. They have this beautiful shot from Hoth. It's Luke, Han, Leia, and his Chewie in it. I'm not sure if
No,
Chewie's
is it
No,
art?
it's the three of
it's
them.
just the
It's
is
three
it
three
a
of them.
photo?
It's a photo.
framed photo. And when
Still from the movie or like
still
behind
from the
scenes?
movie,
Okay.
they're all. It was when. God, it's probably been hanging on that wall for like
Before
10 years.
Luke takes off.
I mean, it was under $1,000, and it's signed by the big three. Sitting there, sat there, looked at it every time we walked through the thing.
Yep.
Carrie passed away,
Sure,
and it's
got
like $10,000 now. It's
Yeah.
and it's still hanging on the wall in the same spot that it was before.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. The regret buying stuff, it's happened. For me, like it's stuff like, like so I bought something, I bought the stuff for Adam West to sign.
Yeah.
The weekend you guys were up there, I went to fucking Disney instead, and then that happened, and so there's been some of that stuff, but I'm at the point where I like we talked before. I have so much stuff. It's not even all displayed in my house because I have an old house in New England. There's not a lot of wall space, not a lot of shelving space. Old horsehair plaster. You can't put shelves up. All that kind of shit. I just want to get to the point where I want to clean some stuff up, which I'm working on. And then I want to like work on some stuff because I want to be like Chris Davis. No, but I would like to.
I got to meet this kid. He sounds fucking amazing.
He's kind of a dick. No, I'm just kidding.
I've heard that too.
No, but like,
but you know what? If he's what you say,
yeah. But like, I would like to.
He's entitled.
I would like to have my stuff, but also be able to enjoy my stuff. Like Chris has all his like signed Kevin posters up. He can enjoy them. His sports stuff, he can enjoy it.
Yeah.
His pinball machine. It's all stuff like I've wanted even before I met you guys. I always wanted to have like this kind of setup.
You want a cave. Right?
This is the perfect example, though. It's all the stuff you wanted when you were 14 and 15.
No, I'm talking like 5-6 years ago.
It's essentially the when I get some money.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
That's a big part of it too.
But yeah, like I know myself well enough. I kept the original box for the pinball machine because at some point
it's going to my house.
It's gone.
Because I'm going to require the box when I buy it.
It'll go. No, it's
maybe like a museum piece. We should just rotate it between our houses, so you get to only see it a third of the time, but you enjoy it more because it's been on tour to DJ
It's
Land
on loan from the Davis Museum.
Hogarzilia. Yeah.
But like so,
just put a plaque on it. Yeah.
When Gavin opens his Kevin Museum,
yeah.
The Traveling Kevin show.
I think all his stuff's in storage right now.
Yeah, I think it is too.
So I'm at the point now where I would like, what I want to do is I want to, like I said, do less smalls. I want to, not this year, but I want to work on maybe getting one big. Like he's got the cigarette machine, one big and like a couple of nice things. So that way, it's not going to happen in this house, but eventually I'm going to flip houses. My kid's going to be older. She's going to move somewhere, get married, all this stuff, and we're going to need to be close. So the next one, I'll do it in. So I'm trying to get over that, like I said, little kid with money phase. Now I need to be an adult with my money, which fucking blows. I hate it. But
that's awesome.
It finally kind of hit me this year where it's like, okay, I have to, like, we didn't do a big Christmas this year because we went on vacation instead. I was like, oh, this was nice. I don't like having to chase down toys and buy a million fucking things and wrap them.
Christmas is bullshit.
It is. It is.
You did more for my family this Christmas than I did for my family, DJ. You are you have a gift disease.
Yeah.
I do.
Which we benefited from.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Most definitely.
But I'm kind of like at that mode where it's like, for me, it was all about like the thing to harken back to the experience or the memory. So now I'm trying to flip it to, well, I'd rather spend the money on a new experience. Like this Christmas, we already booked the room. We're going down to Florida for when Star Wars premieres to Disney World. We're not going to do a bunch of park days and make it this big $5,000 fucking week, but we'll go do the Star Wars night and we'll maybe do like one night here at like a Christmas party or something. But then we're just going to do like, just dinners and hang out and actually take an actual vacation because the kids gonna be in school. We can just do it the two of us, and so I'm trying to work on doing that kind of stuff. More experiences, less stuff. That's the goal for the next couple of years.
That's a good goal.
That's also one of the things. I mean, if you can figure out how to collect money, you can do more experiences. Right?
You can blow it out on
money,
the high points.
Collecting money collects itself.
Yeah, it's weird. I have like
it does.
Yeah,
that's one of the key
does.
things.
Yeah,
Nothing else.
Yeah,
if you can get
like
the ball
money.
rolling.
Yeah, I have 3 jobs and no money somehow. I don't know how that works out, but
yeah, we'll
get to that.
We'll fix that.
Yeah, we'll fix that. So on the somber state of I want to fire barrel all my shit and I have no money and I don't know place else to go.
Sean's motivating me.
Yeah.
Not as worried about the money. I just want it gone now.
yeah.
I'll take a couple things out here if you
Why
want.
don't you give it to me and let me sell it? There we go.
I will give you all those extra issues from the new 52 runs. Have it.
There we go. If you have any Nightwings, I'll take the whole Nightwing run.
Knock yourself.
Oh, actually, yeah. We should talk.
Yeah. So, let's do top 3 things that you wouldn't want to get rid of. It doesn't have to be all the only three things you wouldn't get rid of. But like three things that come to mind, like, okay, if I'm going to stop buying stuff, I'm going to start unloading stuff or, whatever. What are the three things that have to stay for whatever reason?
All right.
So don't need honorable mentions.
So,
or you could do honorable mentions if there's like a group of things.
yeah, I mean, I have an honorable mention.
Okay.
Do you guys have honorable mentions?
Yeah, I'm doing it as a group.
All right. So I definitely could get rid of it, but my Sideshow Hot Toys 6-scale Boba Fett and Han Solo and Carbonite. There's something about Boba Fett's costume design, his iconic, just the way he looks, his armor, and Han Solo Frozen and Carbonite, and everything about Empire, and having this, foot tall, exquisitely constructed thing. I actually haven't taken the Carbonite Han Solo out of the box yet. So I haven't lit it up and everything. It'll be awesome. But that's something I really kind of like to hang on to, because no matter how big or small your display space is, your office, that's something that will always make me happy when I look at it. Right.
And even though it's only 12 inches or so tall, it's a big. Those things are not cheap, and they're gorgeous. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So that's my honorable mention, is that, and I mean, I have a Batman 66 and a Batman 89 Hot Toys as well. The figures, same scale. Those I'd like to keep.
So, honorable mention. I'm going to stay in that same Sideshow Hot Toys vein, because there's a cabinet up there with all kinds of statues and stuff.
Yeah,
most of them don't mean. I mean, a couple of them are Heathers. So you wouldn't get rid of her Catwoman or Poison Ivy. Yeah. But the original Harley Quinn premium format.
Yeah.
That's one that we bought right after the kid was born, when it was first released, when it was essentially what a 6-scale cost now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that was only like 200.
Yeah.
I say only.
Yeah.
But you're thinking back 8-9 years, $219.
Still a lot of money. But
Sideshow stuff's probably gone up 200,
isn't that like $1,200 or something?
Premium.
Now?
It's crazy.
Some
it's
of
huge.
them, depending on who character it is. Some of
them are nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's, you kind of hit a nerve there. One of those things that you just look at and it makes you happy.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first bigs.
Yeah.
When I was starting to get back into it, I mean, God, we just moved into this house. We didn't have a pot to piss in. That kind of thing.
That's part of the...
You leveraged it to get into the new place.
The things on the walls, whether they're... That's different than my comics in a...
It is.
In a box. When I look at things that fill you with that...
And that's... I always come back to the wall space, and DJ's harking to it. Like, the comics don't bring me that joy.
Yeah.
If I could... You go up in my office, the sketch covers... Mm-hmm. They're on a shelf. Mm-hmm. The pops are all in boxes and packed away. Stuff like that. But it's at the end of the day, it's about surrounding yourself with stuff that makes you happy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So
for me, honorable mentions, I'm gonna do it in groupings.
Sure.
So I don't want to get rid of any of my Power Ranger stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's she knows that. The other thing is kind of,
why'd April get brought into it?
Well, because I mean.
It's almost like you can see the little apron on the shoulder.
Yeah. Like she knows that. She knows. And then
fuck. No, not Gonzo.
Gonzo does not need mention. Gonzo's not fucking going anywhere. Although, what's funny? I forgot to do it. For Valentine's Day, I was going to put Gonzo at a table with like a candle and tweet a picture of it.
She is I got stuck at work. Holding out for that in the divorce. That look was awesome.
She got the fucking kid. Whatever. She's not taking the Gonzo with the dog.
Wow.
Saying priorities. No, but so like all my partner stuff, I don't think I would ever attempt to unload unless things get real bad. I mean, I do have some pieces that are worth way more than retail, and just because, I mean, some of them, the stuff they remanufacture towards the end because the licenses switch hands or whatever. But and like one thing I'm going to pick up going forward is Hasbro's doing the new better end figures. They're only $20 though, and they're only doing 4 at a time every like 8 months, which is good. So but I'll pick up just a couple. So there's that, and then also, I'm not going to get any of my hockey jerseys or my Kevin stuff.
Yeah, okay.
My posters and sign and all that kind of stuff. So just because I'm not getting rid of
it. That kind of leads to, I, as usual, my memory sucks and I'm not prepared, which means whatever's in my top 3 is just, kind of a random bubbling of stuff. Mm-hmm. But my number 3 is something I think I've mentioned here before. It's something I bought from our friend Gavin, from the View Askew board and everywhere else. And it's my incredible, faithful reproduction of the RST video sign from Kevin's Too Fat for 40 special. It's still rolled up, canvas. I really need to get it on some kind of frame. Yeah, we got to build a frame for it.
We'll help you with it in the spring.
Yeah. It's a good spring project because that should be up in my office.
Yeah, we should do that.
No doubt.
We can do that easily.
Yeah. So that, that's something where if I wanted to get rid of it, it would go to Chris or you or back to get right. That's at least I know that that's never something that goes anywhere that doesn't mean. Because
that was the first thing that popped in my head.
It belongs to the museum, right?
I'm like, you can't get rid of that.
Oh yeah,
that was what went in. That was what popped into my head.
Yeah, and but I could never sell it for a lot of money either because Gavin gave it to me for not a lot of money, right? Mm-hmm. It's one of these. It's just beautiful. But it's not giving me love because I haven't.
You can't see it.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Well, we're gonna,
that's the thing you want on like the sidewall of the garage or something. Someplace where you're going to see it.
No,
all the time.
I think it can go right over.
We're going to have to lose the Falcon.
Yeah, well, the Falcon's over to the right. Right now, Jay and Silent, the album cover from Strike Back.
Yeah.
So I was thinking put it up on the left, and either the album cover can move, or I don't know. We'll find a place for it.
Yeah,
I can't remember. I was there at the show, and I can't remember how big it is.
Yeah,
it's.
Get the measurements.
It's full size.
Yeah,
it's exactly like it was.
We'll decide.
Maybe
maybe now that Kevin doesn't want to use RST anymore in the movies,
it's a red box.
She'll actually sell the.
It's gonna be a red box.
Old one. I should call her back. I have the number somewhere. My number 3 is I'm going to take the DJ route here and group it. It's more some of my higher end Patriot stuff.
Yeah.
It's the Brady football, the biggest thing, the Brady jersey, those kind of things. Cause this is like, it's things that I have an emotional attachment. Yeah, it's things that I have an emotional attachment to. Even more than that though, if I had to pick one out of that collection to keep, it would be the Butler picture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. That's the still of Malcolm Butler's Seahawks goal line interception.
That's the one I get to be. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's kind of, there's an emotional attachment to any of these things.
Mm-hmm. I'll take this opportunity to pause our top 3 for another Stephen Griss mention.
Love Stephen.
Oh, Jesus.
Thank you for the Ric Flair gift, by the way.
He said he's looking forward to hearing another show. He says, my ears are ready for a new show, even after the Brady butt smooching spectacular last week.
Love you, Steven.
But even better, he sent along a picture of his FANMEN T-shirt.
He's got a T-shirt.
He's got one of the baseball jerseys with the green sleeve.
Shout out to Steven. Thank you, sir.
Available on tpublic.com.
Yeah, so tpublic.com.
That's excellent.
/FANMEN or search for FANMEN. Real nice set of gear there. I'm about, I think I may get a new phone case. My FANMEN phone case is getting a little worn. But sorry to interrupt there, but you mentioned the Patriots. I love the Tom Brady butt smooching spectacular. That's what we should have named it last week.
We should have.
Yeah.
But I wanted to trick people into listening to it, so I called it the Lords of the Rings.
Yeah, but if you'd left the S off of the first one, it was
shit. Don't be burying the lead like that. That's weak sauce.
Yeah, maybe when the season starts up again, we should have the Brady butt smooching spectacular.
Oh no, yeah, it won't be a little more than butt smooching.
We may have to take on like the Hall After Dark, Matty Mo Soccer Minute.
Yeah.
I'll just come in and give you a Patriots Minute every episode to ensure that all listeners go.
So sorry, your number 3 is your Patriots.
My number 3 was my Patriots stuff.
Yeah.
So my number 3, it's another grouping. It's because it's actually a large chunk of stuff. It's my signed figures and pops. I have all the Power Rangers, a ton of wrestlers, obviously all my Kevin figures I have signed, and just like the collection of like, my daughters, it's both of ours. We have like the Arrow figure signed by the cast and the Gal Gadot signed Wonder Woman Barbie doll and all this other stuff we have. Yeah. And it's more, not so much the fact that, they're signed, they're worth something, because they're not, because they're all personalized to me. I make sure people sign me, no, sign it to DJ. I'm not getting rid of this fucking thing.
Right. But, which anchors it not just to the person, but to you and to time.
Yeah, and what we just talked about, one of the funnest things for me is, and I'm going through a little bit different area because my daughter's 17, your oldest one's 13?
13.
and Harley's only 10.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm at the point now where she's getting ready to move out, and I'm not gonna have like empty nesters or nothing. But like looking back on, she's not a kid anymore. She's almost an adult. So looking back on it, when she was like, no, I want to go to Comic-Con and I want to dress up and I want to get shit out signed and all that. So all those figures are all tied to conventions that, that was the thing. The wife would stay home, me and the kid would pack up, and we go, we do the sewing and the costume fabricating, and we go do the thing. So that's always going to be like an additional, feather in the cap on it. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a piece of the whole thing. So it's the experiences, like I said, trying to do the experience thing going forward, because you can't put a price on memories. So so definitely all my signed figures will never go anywhere.
That makes sense. All right. So my number 2 is a specific comic. I think most of my comics, particularly, going through this exercise today where I'm like, thinking about selling everything in the universe, makes it a little bit tough. But my issue of Tomahawk 63 from July of 1959 in utterly, piece of crap 0.5, quality. I think I've mentioned it in the past. This I got from my grandfather when I was probably maybe 10 or 11, and it was in crap condition from him because he had it since 59. Now he wouldn't have been a kid in 59, so maybe it was my stepdad. I don't know, but I got it from him and it was old, and then I read the crap out of it and re-stapled it. It has staples like half an inch off this. I mean, it's in terrible shape. But that, that's, I have my own original issues, and I wouldn't want to get rid of those either, like a Batman Collector's 44 or something like that, oversized treasury. But this is one that not only is one of my comics from when I was a kid, but it's a heritage to, to another generation that means something to me. And I did get I have another copy of it that's in, like fine condition, because I like having them side by side. But that's the one, Tomahawk 63.
Excellent.
All right. My number 2, again with DJ's grouping theme here, would be the original comic artwork that I have.
Yeah.
I've kind of leaned into that heavy, and shame on my wife. She kind of kicked the whole thing off.
Yeah.
For 40th birthday gift, but the Alex Rosses and the original Jim Lees and some of that stuff, even some of our friends from around here.
Yep.
Mr. Russo has done a bunch for me. Chris Minga. I've kind of...
Those things are tough because they're big too. They're kind of hard to keep.
It's tough to keep. It's tough to frame. Just there's a cost factor involved.
Yeah.
But even any of the original commissions, it all ties back to something that means something to me. I could care less what they're doing on a cover or something. I can, to your point, Sean, you can get a copy of the cover. I could download the picture if that's all I cared about. But to have somebody whose work I admire do something, it's cool. Those kind of things are special to me. Yeah, something like that, those will never go anywhere.
That makes sense.
Nice. My number 2, it's an actual item. Goes back to the autograph stuff, is my authenticated Stan Lee signed Iron Man Legends helmet.
Oh, nice.
So when he came around for the last time, and then the same thing, the kid was like, I have to go, you have to take me. I was like, okay, if it means that much, we'll go, definitely. And I'm like, how do I get signed? Do I bring a book? Do I buy, get a Stan Lee pop? Because my kid had one, and that's what she got done. I was like, no, fuck it. I took the thing I had all my Legends stuff up, and I'm like, do I take the Thor hammer, the Captain America shield, the helmet? So I took the helmet. Got signed right across the top of the faceplate. It's got the COA sticker on it. It's in a lit football case in my office. That's like, to me, that's a big. It's
nice.
It's framed, quote unquote, and everything like that. And I'll always, it's one of the things like I took my kid to meet Stan Lee before it's all said and done.
Yep.
And that's something we've done so many concepts, but she's never going to forget that one. That was like, she was ear to ear on that was a super highlight. So I know that's, it's tied to a good memory. So I'm going to go with
that's a good one. Yeah. My number 1 is, you guys have kind of gone nuts in this area more than I did, but back before I think almost anybody, possibly including Chris, had any Kevin Smith jerseys.
Mm-hmm. You predated me.
Though I know the first time I saw DJ, though forgot about it until we started the podcast years later. But it's my I guess you would call it Silver Age, since it's the Edmonton Oilers orange and blue colors, right?
Yeah.
But, my Smod Castle jersey, so that great, the portcullis, gate logo coming down. I got that. It's a 6. I mean, it's giant.
Yeah.
But I got that when Malcolm Ingram he put a couple things up on eBay.
Small Town Gay Bar?
No, it was for Continental.
Okay.
Which I'm not even...
Continental was after.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was after Small Town Gay Bar. But, and I think... I'm not sure this is known in my household, but I think I paid $6.25 for it. So hopefully Jen doesn't listen to this episode.
A standard athletic hockey jersey are only $350 anyway, so.
Yeah, but this was, but
you need to marry an accountant. I'll get into it in mine.
We didn't talk on the tax implications of selling comics. We'll talk about that some other time. But that's special to me a few different ways. It was the only person I knew that had one of Kevin's actual jerseys from him at that point was Gavin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I know there's a few others out there. I think I've seen Jamie with one or whatever, but
he's given.
And now, I mean, obviously there's, particularly going forward, lots more, but it's just special to me. It's been hanging in my office. It's one of the things I see, when I'm sitting in kind of our little home theater area. The doors to my office are right there, and I have it hanging inside my office, but they're glass doors. So I'm always seeing that, looking at it. I see 37 and Smith from where I sit watching TV, and in my office I see the Smod Castle logo. So that's, it's just not going anywhere.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I'm going to tag up right behind you on this stuff. Number one for me, and it's kind of the entire grouping of all of the Kevin stuff.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It ceased being about just getting Kevin items a long time ago, like the autograph pops or whatever that. It's more just supporting the man.
Yeah.
And it ties back into a 25-year history of following him and his career and following his ass around the country, going to things and everything. So there are certainly pieces that are special to me. There's certain things that mean, like the cigarette machine.
Yeah.
That's the first movie my wife and I went out to was Chasing Amy.
Yep.
So there's a certain emotional attachment to have something from the main set of that. The Dogma thing, that was something that's personal. That was my favorite of the movies. The repressed Catholic schoolboy in me, fighting on that. But going through any of that stuff, out of all of it, and I thought about the Stand. You brought that up, and I thought about the Mallrats poster and things like that. Which I still don't have fucking Batfleck, but whatever. I think the thing that means the most to me out of any of it is the signed picture I have of Heather, Harley, and I.
Oh, yeah.
With the boys around the podcast table from the set of comic.
I mean, it's one of the most beautiful things. It's huge.
It is,
and it's just beautiful.
It's hilarious. It's Harley always referred to it. Harley would have been 2015. So she would have been about 6.
Yeah.
I mean, light enough that I could still hold her in the picture.
Yeah.
But she always referred to it as the family picture.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. She developed her own. I don't know. It makes me smile because she developed her own relationship with Kevin and that world, completely separate and apart from all the dick and fart jokes and everything else. She has a relationship with him.
Yeah.
He was the nice guy that hung out with her and put her on the counter at the stash, and she got to have conversations with. And a few months later, we're down at New York Comic Con, or a year later. It was actually a full year later. She had to wear her buddy crazy. She has 4 Kevin jerseys. She wears it, and he's doing IMDb interviews.
Yeah.
And she hops up and sits on the edge of the stage and waves. And his eyes lit up, this big smile, and he starts pointing to the back of the stage.
Yeah.
Go wait around back. I'll see you in a few minutes. Like, there's a connection there between the two of them now.
Yeah.
Which that just always brings a smile. It was 2 great days. I love the image itself. But it's kind of handing that off to the next generation.
You've also got more than, I mean, my kids have lost the love of comics and Batman that they had for a while when they were younger and more manipulable and impressionable. You have it a bit with Athena, DJ, but you, because of Harley's name and her experiences growing up with that, and with you and your collecting and love of Kevin, and her meeting him in that picture, you've anchored something that even, when you're gone, those things are not crap that Dad left to me.
No,
they're a part of my childhood. Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool.
If I had to pick one, it would be that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Like with the Kevin stuff, I did, as I mentioned, because I knew, like, I had a feeling I was getting on Chris's list, and he just, the experience stuff he can tie to his Kevin stuff, it's just far and away. So I think I kind of wish. I kind of wish that, like, with Athena, we didn't really get into doing, like, the cool stuff. She was, 13, 14, because we were just so fucking broke before then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wish I had, the scratch through some of that stuff earlier.
I wish I had started earlier. I wish I had some of the experiences Gavin had.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't.
Well,
he had proximity,
was there, exactly.
I wasn't on the board as early, and when I was more of a lurker, and
didn't really start until like 06, 07 kind of thing. Yeah.
But back then, that was always like where you had to have been like in the area, right? To do.
It was tougher, yeah, and we just weren't in a position where either in an apartment or first house, you just didn't. It was a haul to be getting hotel rooms and traveling down and getting time off from work.
Well, like me, it took me 34 years roughly. Like, the first time I got to go, do the Kevin stuff was at Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went down for Vulgarthon, and, we just went to California for the stand event. And I'm kind of going hard now, trying to make up for the last time. It's put me in the hole quite a bit, but it's worth it because it's been such good stuff. But so similar kind of thing. Talk about, starting early. So my number one is my my Matty Collector Adam West Batman cowl and utility belt set. You guys have the belt part, but
yes.
It's one of those things that's front and center in my glass case when you walk into my office. And it's one of those, like Chris brought up before, when you look at it, you just smile. Because I remember being a kid, coming home from school, popping on Batman reruns, and Adam West is the reason that I do all the other stuff I do. If there wasn't Adam West, I might not be into comics, honestly. I might just be into Star Wars.
It's a foundational touchdown.
It is. It's the number one building block for me.
It goes through generations.
Yep.
We've talked about the kids wearing out that movie.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And that's one thing that, I know for a fact that is never going to go away with her. Like, I remember I was watching, usually when I work from home, I have my laptop up on the bar, and I have a big TV mounted above, and I'll throw on like comic book men just for background noise.
Yep.
And she came home. It was one when they took Mike up in the Batcopter.
Oh,
She's like, the Batcopter. She's like, I've sat in that. She did. She sat in the Batcopter with Lee Merriweather.
Nice.
So it's just,
she's a sweetheart.
Yeah, she is.
Aside.
So I know the 66 Batman stuff, like, and it's me and it's my, my younger brother, the one who's still alive. We, he's into it hard too. And my kid's into it. So it's like, so Adam West is always going to be there. So that's why for me, it's the one thing, like, I'll never get rid of that.
That's awesome.
I bought it to get signed. Didn't happen, but still, I know I'll wear it when I watch the movie sometimes and stuff. And it's a gorgeous piece besides anything else. It's a real nice one, but it's never going anywhere.
Excellent.
Okay, so Sean had the RST video replica sign from the Too Fat to 40, right?
Yep.
It's Too Fat. Okay. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is his beat up issue of Tomahawk 63 he got from his granddad.
Mm-hmm.
And number 1 is his Kevin Smith jersey that he has hanging up in his office.
Yep.
Chris's number 3 was his high-end Patriot stuff, including the stuff signed by the good Lord himself, Tom Brady. Number 2 is his original artwork collection. He does, if people haven't seen it, his artwork collection is insane. It's absolutely gorgeous. It belongs in a museum. And number 1
belongs in a museum.
Exactly. Number 1 is his vast collection of Kevin Smith stuff, highlighted by the cigarette machine and the family photo. For me, it's my number 3 is my big pack of signed action figures that I tie back to going to Comic Cons with my kid, wrestling, Power Rangers, Kevin, etc., voice actors, etc. Number 2 is my Stan Lee signed Iron Man replica helmet. And number 1 is my Adam West Batman cowl made by Matty Collector. So we went over on this one, but this was a deep subject. This wasn't just pissing around about movies and stuff like that. So hit us up on Twitter at FN37, at Detronaut, at Bakaboka, at Chris Davis _37. Follow us on all the wherever. I think we're almost everywhere now. By the time this is out, Spotify should be done.
Follow us everywhere.
We're everywhere. Tell your Alexa speaker to play us because I think we're on there too. I think I did that right. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Right.
So, where the government can wiretap you listening to us with your Alexa speaker. And once again, anyone has anything wants to talk about, top 3 suggestions, anything like that, shoot it over to us on Twitter, and we'll do it as soon as we can. Thank you for listening, everyone. Have a good one.
Thank
Later,
you.
guys.